What's up, Sand Shark fans? How's everyone doing? We are back for another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. I'm your host, Brackin Lambert, alongside Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr. And guys, it has been a full week of Sand Shark athletics, but we're done. We made it through. How's everyone doing? How's everyone hanging out?
I slept till about 12 today, so I feel like a human again. It's been a week, and I didn't have it as bad as you did. So, but it was pretty wild week. Had a good time out at Shark Park. Got to see baseball season's back. I mean, I look out the window until baseball season every winter, so always exciting for me to be out at the ballpark. And yeah, good stuff. And then the Cove was fun on Saturday too. Tough.
Yeah, two great
results,
games over there.
two great games.
Falling up short. But yeah, some tough competition over there on the Clayton State side. But Marcus Overstreet keeping up his strong work on the boards, and I was impressed by how Madison Self played. I thought she was really impactful.
Yes.
Michaela Primo, so electric as always. But yeah, two very hard fought games. Unfortunately, not going on the right side for these two Sand Shark squads, but. Once again, competitive, fun games to be a part of, to work, and it just continues to reiterate what we're saying is that these teams are managing the process of this first year really well, and doing everything that we hope for them to be accomplishing, and playing some tough teams really close here at home. So yeah, two great games over on the Cove, and then the men, absolutely classic basketball out there on that Wednesday. 4 overtimes, 123 to 118. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that? An incredible back and forth ball game, and a really
but only on TV.
Yeah, we'll get to all that. We're gonna get to all that here in a little bit. But let's welcome in our guest for the night, head baseball coach Ted Faulkner. He's gonna join us here for a little bit. Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Thanks for hopping on tonight with us, Coach. Congratulations on a series win on the opening weekend. That's all you can ask for. 3 competitive, great games. How you feeling after this weekend?
It was finally going against another team. A different uniform. We've done a lot of inter squads to get our guys ready. So, we showed fight early, which was great. And, it's a kind of a different lineup, different atmosphere than what we've had in the past. And it was a good start. And anytime you can win a series, we'll take that for sure. So we pitched well enough, defended in the moments we needed to, and had some timely hits to help us win.
How big was that?
How about my boy JP? Oh, yeah, go ahead, Wes.
Runs in that 8th inning, the offensive explosion. Including, some guys who we haven't mentioned, but Sebastian Biggs with a, very productive opening weekend alongside Carson Phillips. Phillips helped start that rally to drive in 2 in the 8th. So, talk about how the offense responded after you letting the couple in the 7th and then coming right back to take that all-important first game.
Yeah, the key word there was how we responded. You're right. They put up a bunch of zeros early. I think there was some nerves. There was just the feeling out process, but then we started knocking on the door, started getting opportunities. It even happened there in game 2, the one that we lost, where through 5 innings we left 9 on base. So we had those opportunities. We were just waiting for guys to step up and not just step up, but take advantage of that opportunity and get a big hit. And Sebastian Biggs did it. We have Carson towards the top of the lineup because he's one of our table setters. We want him to get on base with his speed and his athleticism, and he can create chaos. And that's what we've been really talking about as an offense is creating chaos throughout all of that. So, they had some big timely hitting. And, the biggest part I think our guys really learned was that these games aren't just won in the first 3-4 innings. They're long ball games. And the 2 nines yesterday, like you said, it was a long week. Yesterday was a long day out of baseball. But, they hung in there. And they battled and they showed some resiliency, like I said, early on. And I think that's just some building blocks that we're using moving forward.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get into the bullpen on Friday because you just sensed that you could get that guy out of there and just see somebody else so that you can maybe get it going. And that was what happened. But no, I was going to say, how about my boy JP? I've known JP a long time, so pretty cool to see him get the opening day start and go out there and throw really well. I mean, he looked good out there.
You know, he's always been a back end of the bullpen guy at his junior college, and we was here too last year, and we just, you know, as we saw throughout the fall, you know, we're like, man, we can extend this guy. We can extend this guy. And then he threw in our fall World Series, and he threw 5 or 6 scoreless innings. And from then on, it was like, all right, we're going to set this up. So at his exit interview in the fall, we're like, hey, I want you to start getting the mindset of being a starter. And as the spring and what he did in the offseason to come back, you know, he's an experienced guy. I know he's going to fill the zone up with strikes. And he just has that baseball feel out there and understanding. So it was like, you know what, this is a guy I want to go with on Friday night. And he showed really well and gave us a boost and gave us a chance to win, obviously. And that's what we ask for our guys when they get the ball.
Oh yeah. It was great to see him go out there and throw 6 innings and then be able to come down that 7-run 8th inning. I was, you know, on the other side working baseball, softball. So we're just hearing everything going on. But I mean, you know, how does this team feel different from last year? You know, you and I talked a little bit last year about like early on, you know, playing D2 baseball is a completely different mindset than playing NAIA. And I think you use the analogy of you got a first baseman who can pick it and rake in D2, and you got a guy who can just rake it in the NAIA level. So does it feel like a different team from compared to last year?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was something that, you know, we had, you know, some guys that were, I don't want to say let go, but things happened, some change, and the attitude and energy these guys have really brought from the fall to just taking over as players, leading players, has really gone a long way. You know, we always have adversity things. We're always challenging them, and it was really cool to see them respond, even though they got, you know, they were down and they could have said, oh, well, you know, this is what we did last year, but they didn't do that. And the guys, it was all them. They, you know, we as coaches, we can rally them up and whatever, but they create that environment. And what I really like is just the energy that these guys are giving each other. And they're like legitimately rooting for each other, even if they're not in there. You know, if the guy that's in front of him in the lineup or got the start and he didn't, I think the guy, I really believe this truly, is that he's genuinely rooting for him. And that's something that is what we want in this culture. We want these guys to do that. And, you know, all that does is create that competitive atmosphere. So I like that. And then the athleticism side of things. I mean, you talk about a guy like Biggs. I saw him at his JUCO in the World Series, and that game he had that Friday night, that's every time I saw him play. And all the time I kept looking at his stat line, that's what he was doing. And just has baseball in his veins, you know. So trying to add a couple pieces like that to some of the guys that we had returning, I think it was, you know, it's still early on, but, you know, we're just continuing to stay healthy or pushing to stay healthy and just build brick by brick. Let's just on to the next game, which will be Edward Waters. We hit the boys were out early this morning, tarping the field, so we can see what we got going. Because I know right now it's pouring at my house behind me, but
getting after it.
Here on the island.
Yeah,
it's getting after it.
Yeah,
yeah.
We're gonna be working.
But yeah, you know, it's a challenge, the puzzle of piecing together your lineup, and we're starting to see the framework of what. You know, we could see from the squad going forward into the season, and I'm excited. I'm pumped to get over there. I've been, you know, covering the basketball side, but I'm ready to really get full on into baseball and softball in these coming weeks. But we mentioned Josh Patterson, who displayed a strong performance out there on the mound. How about Brandon Martin? You know, a returner who we've seen some solid signs from, and he throws 7 full innings, gets the win in the finale. So, you know, just tell me about what you think about the starting rotation and the pitching staff in general. Through these first few games,
I think it's unique because we only had 3 games. We had 5 guys in our docket that were going to start, and as things went on, you know, through conversation, through guys' efforts, all those other things. Brandon Martin was a guy that I recruited at my last school up in Michigan, and he followed me down here, and I was happy that he did for many reasons. But he's worked his way. He was coming out of the pen as a lefty guy, but he's worked his way and built himself up. Development wise too, to get that starting nod. And it was funny, the 6th inning, we were like, all right, you're at about 90 pitches. It's your first start. We don't want to push it. Coach, I want the ball. And it's one of those things. You're like, all right, it's early on in the year. But as the pitching coach, Coach Robinson, and I talked about, he goes, if there's one guy we can extend a little bit, it's Brandon Martin. He's just prepared and ready for it. And so we said, all right, we have a short leash out there. And he went out there and got us through there to set up our other side of the bullpen. And then we have Ian Barnes, our new addition to break to out. So.
Yeah, I wanted to talk
Barnes
about.
was really solid. Two save opportunities and locked them both down. Let a couple base runners on, but didn't really get in too much trouble. So that has to be a good feeling. I mean, new guy you're sending out there to close one out, and you're not really sure what's going to happen when the lights are on, but you have to feel a lot better with 2 saves under his belt than you maybe did going into the weekend.
Yeah, it's you just put these guys in those situations and see how they respond.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what you kind of do, is talking with the other coach about it. Cause he had a couple back end bullpen things where some guys came in and walked, and, he's just like, all right, well, I just, this guy can or cannot do that. And kind of, it's still, again, early on, but,
don't know till you know.
Yeah. Ian came in, even, when he came in January, he had that, it's a little bit of moxie about him. He's only a freshman. So, for us to rely on him, I told him, again, I don't care how old you are or any of that stuff. You just have that, go out there and show your stuff. And that's what he's done so far. And the guys are confident in him. And, when they build that confidence, a lot of good things makes it contagious. And I think that was a good start of the weekend for that.
Absolutely, man. It's great to see 2 big wins and 2 come from behind wins. You got, game 2 yesterday, you guys kind of held on pretty much there and had to battle back a little bit early down, but I mean, just a great atmosphere, great day. How about all the fans? Fans were out there. I mean, the stands were packed, and I mean, Anderson's a few hours away, but still they traveled pretty well.
Yeah,
but I mean,
they traveled well.
That atmosphere, in Hardyville, that's got to play into these guys, too, seeing all the support. And I think all the support all around USCB athletics all season long has been tremendous. But it was definitely
basketball's brought it all together. It really has.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can say that's brought more excitement onto campus for sure. That's brought more excitement into our athletic department. And it's just going to continue to keep piling on. Once we get on campus, hopefully sooner than later, but to have that Friday night atmosphere. I mean, when we recruit guys, we tell them that Friday night atmosphere in the Peach Belt, there's just something about it. And I could tell you plenty of the road games we went on last year where it was electric, and my wife took a picture because she was showing me how many people were there, because sometimes I don't get to see all that. And I was like, this is awesome. And what's unique is during the recruiting process, you can tell which, the kids sport and all these other things. And they're like, Coach, we only get 2 for the pass list, but I got like 6 coming, and I got this and that. And it's just like, yes, that's what's exciting. And then it just brings that atmosphere together. And we want Friday night to be electric, not just in Saturday and Sunday, but a Friday night feel. We want to.
That's where the series is set. The tone of the series is set on Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It starts with your starter, and it goes into what you see offensively as well, and it just translates over there. But having a good showing the Friday night sets the tone for the entire weekend. So you want to have that crowd packed. You want to have that good atmosphere. And I agree with what you were saying, JJ. Basketball, the invigoration that we've seen from seeing the fans packed over there and seeing the effects of that spread to other sports. So have you been able to take in some games over at the Cove and just talk about how basketball has just energized the entire athletic culture here at USCB this season?
Shoot, his whole team is the student section.
Yeah.
Well, part of it, we want to support each other, and we appreciate basketball support. They were out there, and it's the same idea. The guys love that. They love causing chaos, you know what I mean, in a good way, but they know they're representing us. But yeah, they look forward to that, because some of them said, some of this brings me back to my high school days of the basketball games. If they weren't playing on the basketball team, that was a big deal. And now we have that atmosphere, and they get to know the guys on campus, and it's really fun. And they're and the girls team, so like they're making it that they're creating that atmosphere. But just the excitement of it is really the athletic department's moving forward. We're excited.
Yeah,
absolutely. I feel like there's a cohesiveness, definitely. I also wanted to mention another local kid who got some shine this weekend, Anthony Storzieri. Got in there. I saw him get in as a pinch runner, and then he got a knock during that big rally, and then I think he had a knock again on Sunday, or on Saturday. So good to see that he's kind of put in his time and been grinding and developing and doing the things you tell a kid to do. So it's cool to see a payoff for him.
That's it, JJ. He has been doing all the things we've been asking him, and he took advantage of his opportunity. And we told him, we're like, just always be ready. And he's one of those guys that is. He's always ready, and it's fun to see him, excel and those type of things in both games. I mean, a huge double with 2 strikes that scored 2 runs in the game 3 also, and it was just like, yes. And again, that his confidence and his feel, it keeps becoming contagious with the other guys, and that's the kind of stuff we need. It's the guys that are showing that they can do it or putting the work in to do it, and it's showing on the field so far. So we like that.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach. We appreciate you coming on here and joining us here on the Rewind, and we look forward to getting everything ready back on Tuesday. And then we travel off to North Greenville this weekend. So, quick little preview. Tell us what to expect for Tuesday and then this weekend.
Tuesday's Edward Waters. We haven't played them in a couple years. We played them back in our NAIA days. And Reginald, the coach there, him and I we've been tight. See each other at the convention every year, and they've really turned some things around there in that program, and they've gone D2. They did the process like a year and a half, 2 years before us. I've always liked playing them. They play at a classic old ballpark in Jacksonville, so we always have a home and home series with them. So we're looking forward to having them. I know they played this weekend. We're going to crunch down some things tomorrow morning in the office to get prepared for that. But then North Greenville, preseason number 2 in the country. They're going to be our home opener next year, so we're excited about that. I just like playing on really good programs. I think it's good for our guys, but also to see where we're at. And our guys, they keep talking about it. I'm like, well, we got to play Tuesday first, and we got practice on Monday, so let's just start that first, and then we'll get there. So we're excited for the opportunities, and it's awesome that baseball's here, and it's hopefully we get a little more sunshine here quickly to.
That's right.
North Greenville,
sign of spring here in the Loco.
Yes, sir. I'm learning it.
Yeah, baseball is it's. I get sad over the winter, man. That seasonal affective disorder and that being indoors thing is real, and baseball just lets me go outside and be outside and watch baseball. I love
guys, the series is on. I don't know if you've been watching any of that, but it's been on ESPN Plus, and I've been telling my guys, hey, when you get a moment, just watch these guys. It's mostly ex-pros, playing. It's been some good baseball, and it's just getting
PR and DR, and it's great.
Puerto Rico, and all the teams,
Yep.
All right.
Out.
More baseball, man. It's just the start. So I'm looking forward to being out there in Hardyville with all of us out there, and we're looking forward to a great season, Coach. So thank you for hopping on with us tonight, and we'll see you bright and early in the office tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the opportunity, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Sir. Take care.
Yep. Ted Faulkner, the head baseball coach.
Teddy ball game.
Great. Great day. Great day for them, especially after a really rough year last year. You took some on the chin last year, but it's an absolute great sign to get there.
Getting that first one after the long losing streak. Yeah. Well, that's everything.
Oh man, what a relief, right? Like 16 in a row, and it's opening day. It's a new start, and you just don't want to start back down that path. So it was huge to win that first one, especially like you mentioned, like coming back, because they got off to a great start, but it was 1-0 for a long time. Then they got up 3-1, and you're feeling good, and then the bullpen lets it get away, and you're like, oh, not again. But big rally, and then Barnes locked it down, and that kind of, like you said, Wes, sets the tone for Saturday. Then you're just going in thinking, all right, if we can get one, we've come out with the series win. So great start to the season for them, and excited to see how they stack up against North Greenville, because I'm like Coach Faulkner. I'm like, I want to play the best. I want to see how far away are we. Like, I know we're still far away, but how far? Let's see. Let's find out.
Hey, what the beauty is right now? The beauty is we have a chance to make the postseason tournament, make the conference tournament. And while we don't have a bid to the, D2 World Series this year, we still got a chance to win a Peach Belt championship. Yeah. And a Peach Belt championship.
Well, I think the other thing too is like, I mean, that's great that they have a chance to win the Peach Belt Championship this year, but I think you got to just recognize that like all the kids who came here knew what the situation was, so that's not important to them necessarily competing for a national championship. They already decided that,
Yeah.
and they all understand that it's building toward when they can, and so I think the pressure's off in some sense. Like this year for basketball, the guys put a little pressure on themselves by the way they came out and started off. You know, like they got enough attention that they put a little pressure on themselves. But the expectations were such that when you're going through that transition period, it's going to be a little rocky. You don't expect to compete for conference championships, and so the fact that they're just competing and not getting run over is a credit. And then it's you're building, and everybody can see 2 years into the future, because that's what everybody's looking at, right? 2 years from now, or a year
2
from
years
now
from
now.
but it was 2 years from now. Now it's a year from now.
It's a great segue, folks, into some basketball talk.
Well, let's pause real quick, because I want to make sure we shout out our men's golf team. We've got let's talk a little men's golf and track and field real quick before we go, because I know we'll kind of
10-4.
We'll go a little bit. We'll go a little bit more lengthy into basketball and softball. But the men competed at the Thomas Sharkey individual over in Statesboro this week, and man, great turnout, I would say, for the guys. Ellis Bright finished tied for 41st. I've got the final standings right here. No, it's all individual. So, but they played. We were the only D2 school in the field. So the likes of Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia Southern. So I know that I'm still learning all about college golf as it's a team, but this is an individual one. A freshman finishing 11 over. Tied for 41st.
Yeah,
not too bad. I didn't have to scroll too far to find our guys right there. So Nathan Franks, I'm not sure where he's out of, but he finished 12 under. But I mean, first tournament out, and that's something that Coach Corey Cottrell, hopefully we'll be able to get him on here soon, is trying to do, is put these guys in really good competitive golf tournaments, and playing strong.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to be featuring Coach Cottrell and the golf program in an article for Local Life magazine. So that's going to be cool.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I mean, anytime with these things, it's an individual event, right? So you're really just trying to get out there, knock the rust off a little bit, start getting ready for the season. You're playing. The benefit of playing a D1 event like this is you're going to play a really good golf course, and it's going to be set up difficult. It's going to be set up for Division I golfers. So you're going to get to test yourself against a tough track and a tough field where you're going to have to play well to be up there. Yeah, Ellis Bright. Solid. That is a solid outing. I mean, when you're finishing right in there with guys from Auburn and Tennessee and Florida State and Florida and Clemson, that's a really solid outing for him.
Solid field. So I know I was talking with Corey, and I just did not have the time to get out and create that little graphic. So he was able to make a little graphic on who they were playing in the tournament, and like what schools were in that individual. So
everybody. Yeah.
I'm trying to look through. Nikolai Holm finished tied for 65th, 17 over. Jan Surik, 68th overall, 20 over. Looking for Aaron Williams, 14 over. I'm looking for our other guys.
I think there was an adjustment to the scoring or something, because the leaderboard I'm looking at is off by 1 place on all your things. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
not sure which one of them is correct, but
yeah. But yeah, a great first weekend for golf. So hopefully they'll be getting some more. And then track and field went up to Columbia this week on Friday and competed in the South Carolina Garnet Invitational. And our local boy, Michael Martello, man, had a great day, finished 6th overall in the weight throw. And according to Coach Harris, he is leading the conference in the weight throw right now. He finished on.
He just told us a couple weeks ago about how he's learning how to throw the weight. So he's a
he
quick
said it's a
learner.
little bit different than the hammer. So because he said he didn't get much time to do indoor track at Coastal, but
Right.
yeah, it's fun. I'm hoping that we can get down to Gainesville for the conference championship.
Yeah, coming up.
Next one.
A
So
short season.
short indoor
There-
season. And that's okay. That's
Yeah.
that JJ, I think you mentioned before that kind of, if you're not competing in indoor, that kind of hinders you a little bit heading into your outdoor season.
Yeah, I think it's just a good way to get, and get yourself into shape a little bit earlier and be able to hit the outdoor season, at full strength.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
you're
look at
already
any
in
kind
that
of running, any kind of
form.
running, you're going to taper down, your time's going to tick down over the season. So the earlier you can start that process, I
Advantage for
think
sure.
the better. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we can transition. Do we want to go softball or we want to go basketball first? Y'all choose.
Your call, man. Your call.
Yeah, Wes wants to talk some basketball, I think, because we had a good segue for it because we were talking basketball, but no, basketball really has. I mean, the cool thing about it for me is, as you know, Bracken, like there'll be some student athletes who'll come out to Hardyville for the baseball games, but it's an ask. It's not as easy as walking over on campus. But basketball has just kind of become that spot where everybody goes, and partly because you've given a lot of people jobs, so that helps. They have jobs, they have to be there. But I heard a girl the other day. She came in and somebody said, "Oh, what are you doing? Are you a cameraman tonight?" And she said, "No, I'm just here for the vibe." And I thought that was cool because I think that's what we're going for, right? Is for the vibe to be such that you want to be there. It's a fun place to be, and I think you all, and not me so much. I'm just setting the vibe on the broadcast, but I think I say we as a team, the royal we, have created that. It's fun on game day. You want to be there.
It's a communal experience from everybody. From where I am over at the scorers table, what I do with our amazing student workers, everyone behind the scenes of the Sand Shark Game Day Network, yourself, Justin, your fantastic partners. We had Tony Red Bruin on Saturday. We had Rich Basirko on the game before, but they're all doing an excellent job. Our camera workers, yourself. It's been a fantastic team effort this season, and it extends to the players and the coaches who have put on quite a show. And even in games where we've seen them fall short, they've been. It seems like every game in conference play has been nail bite. It's been close. We've either had overtime or close to it every game, which has made it really fun.
Yeah, none of them have really been in doubt, or not been in doubt. Like they're all in doubt until like the last few minutes of the game, and maybe even until the last few seconds or 20 extra minutes. No, it's been a blast, but and even Saturday, like they lost both, and they were both tough losses, but I didn't walk out of there like feeling like all was lost, like they were tough competitive games and a really tough competitive conference, and more of them are going to go our way as time goes by. Again, like I said earlier, they're not getting run over. They're competing. Even the women who started the season at a massive disadvantage and they had everything go against them on Saturday. That Brielle and Rose, Shania Rose, were both in foul trouble early and on the bench for much of the first half, and yet they were still right there tied. And it just felt like nothing was bouncing their way, but they were still in it right until the end. So I feel like, and I talked with Madison Self, who was terrific yesterday, as you mentioned, Wes, and Brielle Bartle at halftime of the men's game, and said, like, look, like the effort is apparent, the growth is apparent, the progress is apparent. So know that we can see it. Like, don't get discouraged about the results and keep trusting the process, because like we see how much better they're getting, and we can see 2 years into the future and see how good they're going to be. So, and the guys, man, that was a tough loss, because it felt like they had it until they didn't. But
yeah, man, Maddie is something. She's turned it on here in the last couple of weeks, getting some double figure scoring efforts, and then I mean, she fell 2 rebounds shy of her first career double. I don't know how much you guys know about her past, when she played in high school, but she was she was a guard at her old
Yeah.
high school in Denver, North Carolina, not
Yeah.
not Colorado.
Dry Pond. Shout out to
But
my Dry Pond baseball boys, Denver,
there you
North
go.
Carolina.
But yeah, so she's
Cooperstown,
having to
2023.
she's having to adjust, being a 5'10", forward now. She's not playing, that guard position anymore. But
Right.
but the beauty is she's got that ability to shoot the three. And
Well, yeah.
she
Well,
won't
I
shoot.
like her. That's what I like about her. You can tell she's
Yeah.
a guard. I mean, like she likes to face the basket. She likes to shoot.
Mhm.
I wish she would have shot the three a couple times Saturday because it was there.
Yeah.
And she was a little hesitant, but
About to ask
no,
himself
she's
6 free
she's
throw
a
line.
nice three, man. She's a nice
And
three.
Tanaya Bowen also 6 for 6 from the free throw line. So how
Yeah,
about
she
the
was
foul shooting
electric.
for-
Foul shooting was
Mighty
much
Mouse.
better.
Yeah.
Both teams. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah,
Mighty
the
Mouse was
guys
great.
the guys have turned on their free throw shooting. That game against Aiken kind of woke them up a little bit.
Rattled them.
Um,
Yeah.
and then that game against Flagler, that was probably the lone positive that you can pull from that game. They were just so cold shooting, couldn't find the basket. But their free throw percentage was up above 80%, and then it's been above 80% the last couple of games. So yeah,
Marcus looked good from the line yesterday too. He looked much more confident.
Yeah,
so
he looked great.
good to see that. That's if there's any hole in his game, obviously it's that. And he has a little bit of a hard time handling the low passes, and Bullock kept trying to feed them to him yesterday or Saturday. Yeah, yesterday. God, that was a long time ago. It feels like.
How about the way he played with 4 fouls on Wednesday night?
Phenomenal.
Let's backtrack a couple days to Wednesday. That feels like 2 weeks ago.
Eternity ago.
Oh, that feels like so long ago. That 4 overtime game. Yeah. So Overstreet had 36 and 25. He played the last 24 minutes of that game with 4 fouls, last 4 minutes of regulation, and all 20 minutes of overtime. Both of those are highs in Peach Belt play this season, by the way, 36 points and 25 boards. And I collected some stats on Marcus. He is in Peach Belt play. He's tied for first in scoring with 18.4 points, tied with Tyler Johnson from Aiken. He leads the league in rebounding, 11.7. Max Amadasun, the big fella from Augusta, is second at 9.9. So he's got almost a 2 rebound per game lead. And he leads the league in field goal percentage at 58%. Larry Bullock, young bull, number 1 in 3-pointers made per game, 3.1. And Karan Anderson, number 2 in the league with 2.1 steals per game. So fun stats.
So here's a couple more things. We a couple of the SIDs texted me. Apparently, the entire Peach Belt. I think it went once it went to the 3 overtime. The entire Peach Belt.
Everybody was watching.
Everybody was watching. Quinn said that the AD from Flagler texted him and said the entire Peach Belt's watching you right now. Of course, we're not checking our phones.
Well, I think I said that on the broadcast. I said there may be people tuning in from all around the Peach Belt because we're the only game going.
Yeah, absolutely. But Larry set a Peach Belt record for the most minutes played in a conference game, 55.
Really?
It cannot be completely confirmed, but Ken Gerlinger, the SID at the Peach Belt Conference, was like, there were a couple of tournament games that went 4 overtimes, but in his time there hasn't been a 4 overtime regular season game. And then Marcus's 25 boards were second most ever in a Peach Belt Conference in a game, in a single regular season game. So, I mean, just package all that together, 4 overtimes. You're playing 60 minutes of basketball. I mean, you think about like you played a hockey game.
It's a game and a half. It's a game and a half.
Yeah. We talk about the line changes and all that kind of stuff. We joke, Coach Ron's playing hockey.
Yeah.
They played hockey on Wednesday. It was.
I tell you, some of these Peach Belt games are about as physical as a hockey game too.
Yeah, they really are.
It gets rough out there.
Gloves throwing down. But what a day! I mean, I mean, I didn't get out of there until Thursday morning, just to make sure I had everything done. It was great, but I mean,
I think it was 12 or 10:40 when the men's game wrapped.
yeah,
It was a long night.
Once we got everything cleaned up and I finished the stories and had to go back and listen to the interviews to get my quotes and everything like that, I was zonked. I was ready to go.
It was a long night for sure, but I was also fired up with adrenaline when I came out of there because it was a terrific win, and I got to interview Coach Ron after. And interviewing Coach Ron after a win always has you ready to go run through a wall. He's
100%. I mean, it took me about an hour and a half to wind down just from all of that.
Oh yeah,
full of adrenaline after that one.
And
it takes me
and
an hour and a half
Saturday
to wind down from these things.
I mean, I hated not getting to see Saturday's game, but we had it on upstairs in the booth as best we could with our technical difficulties with our Wi-Fi out there.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's going to be fixed this week and we get the game streaming
Rectified.
back on the Sand Shark Game Day Network. But yeah, I mean, just to move into the women's side real quick on my touches is the same thing that Coach Sharon said, trust the process. It's, she said it's going to be 4 or 5 years and we know that, but you get Lydia back next year, you get Sheridan back, and then you have a year, all these freshmen have a year of experience underneath their belt. And then you bring in a couple of these, Audra and Ellie, who have signed their LOIs, who are here. Ellie's a sharpshooter. Audra's a big. So looking forward to having
the old transfer portal.
There you go. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Who doesn't
want to take it away?
Who doesn't want to come play at the beach? I mean, that's
I mean, I'm not being facetious about that. Like the transfer portal is a real thing, and it impacts everybody, positive and negative, and I think it's got a chance to be a real positive for USCB, at least, especially for the next 2 or 3 years, because there was some unknown about a new program, but now that you've seen what it looks like, and because you didn't know what the roster was going to look like, where would I fit in? Like a lot of the things that you really should consider when you're looking for a school, a good fit, were unknowns with this program. Yeah. So a lot of the kids who were doing their due diligence and looking, well, is there really a path for me to play there? They didn't have anything to look at here really until now. So I think you'll find some people who are looking for a place that they can make an impact, and I think this will be on a lot of radars. And Farron Versup is a name that will attract some people who think they are, better than the opportunity they're getting, and want to prove it with some development from a great coach. I think that's going to be impactful for her, and certainly for the men's program with the style they play. Now that people have seen the excitement level, I mean, people are going to want to come play here, and people who feel like they fit into that system. So it's going to be exciting to watch that transfer portal.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, let's segue into our final segment of the night. I know we usually try to keep this a 30-minute show.
Crossover season.
Today we knew this was not going to be a 30-minute show today.
No way, no how.
Softball, man. JJ,
oh yeah, 5-1.
This kind of gives me
flashbacks.
Deja vu, flashbacks to 2012, man.
Yeah,
11 years ago, man, or 13 years ago, whatever.
The slugging Sand Sharks are back.
Man, holy smokes! 4 run rule victories in 6 games. A tough loss to Erskine after those.
Went 5-1 though. That's
5-1.
Outstanding.
I said it on the lowdown last week or earlier this week. You walk away 500 playing 6 games in 3 days. That's you're happy with that. 5-1.
It's really tremendous. The objective. The objective is split them all, and if you get anything better than that, it's gravy. 5-1 is terrific. The bats were just incredible.
How about Mariah Stevens with her debut? 2 home runs in 1 day, and it also continued from there. Sierra Kinlaw, doing her
Taylor
thing.
Chang with 14 RBIs.
Ooh,
incredible.
And that's not the best part. Jaden Goodwin, the transfer from Florida Southwestern,
Yeah.
11 for 16. Doesn't have the same
Yeah.
RBI numbers, but she's slow. Like her OPS is like 1,700 right now, something.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
1,700.
anything
She's batting
in the conference,
688.
but you got to think there's a potential for some awards to be coming. We'll see what happens, but
Overstreet better get one.
Overstreet better win Player of the Week. If he doesn't win a Player of the Week after he could have not played Saturday, and that he would have won Player of the Week.
For quadruple.
I mean, 69 points and 30 or what is it? 35 rebounds or 30. He had 9 rebounds, 34 rebounds. He was 1 rebound shy of a double-double again Saturday.
Right.
But the biggest dilemma for me
just
is
give him an extra rebound, Wes.
Just but then I mean, but you look on the softball side, who do you nominate for Player of the Week on that one? I had to talk with Coach Cody and
that's a tough one.
That one. You know,
that's a toughie. I mean, I'd have to go Goodwin, but man, it's that 688 batting average and 1762 OPS are just too much for me to pass up. I think that's where I'd have to go. 762 on base.
I know, and she got on base. Not only did
she plays a premium position on defense.
Yeah, so she'll split time. It looks like she's gonna split time between second and short during the weekday games. You know, career. These are student athletes, so you know some of these athletes are going to be doing their stuff, getting ready for their careers. Devin is a teacher, so she gets out of school at 2:45. Yeah, Devin Weller's teaching, so she'll be out there and trying to get out to Hardyville as quickly as she possibly can.
I love that.
We were up in the booth, and she was sprinting down that center lane, getting ready for game 2.
That's great.
So
Bonds, you're gonna have to go back and watch the start, buddy. Clay Bonds, OG catcher from USCB. Baseball went 2-1 to on the weekend. We talked with Coach Faulkner earlier in the show. We talked in great depth about it. So rewind to the start after this thing's over, buddy.
But this softball team, this is the vision I thought we were going to see. When Cody Yeske was brought here with all of her resume that she brought to the table in sort of offensive success, and we saw it early, but now it's really starting to go full speed ahead. And I'm really excited for what this softball team can produce. And they got 2 more home games, but then got a long road stretch after that. Road for home again until March after the end of this week.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the way they wanted to get some early home games in and do that. So they'll have played 8 games. 8 games through the first 2 weeks of the season. But yeah, man, Jaden Goodwin. Everybody's and the thing is, it's everybody making contributions all the way up and down the lineup. There's not a hole in this lineup right now.
Seven players had at least 4 hits on the weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 had 5 or more. 4 had 6 or more. So 4 players averaged at least 1 hit per game. That's solid.
I mean, like you look at it and then
they're hitting 401 as a team.
Yeah.
JJ, I can't wait for you to watch. Like you watched, like I've mentioned it before, but Darren Miller in center field, man, she doesn't have the power, the gap-to-gap power that Shelby Zipper had, but man, she's lightning fast out of the box.
I love a rabbit in center field.
She runs down everything, man. It's there was only one play, and it was one just off the end of the bat that she dove for, and I thought she had it. Fully outstretched base hit, but like just off the edge of her glove. But everything else, she's running into the fence.
Love it.
I mean, it's great. The fence got raised, much more than it was at the original time. So,
right.
Dang,
it doesn't decapitate you now.
I
flip
mean,
you over.
I'm sure Zip still got scars on her ribs from running into that fence.
Yeah.
Nothing will beat her running through that makeshift fence at SCAD the first year. And I'm sitting there texting you like, dude, Shelby just went through the fence.
Through the fence.
But I mean, yeah,
But
Mariah.
we digress.
Yeah, Mariah, man, she's going to be a force at third base. And this is tough. Her name's Mariah, and her last name starts with S. So
Yeah, not Sanborn.
who do you think of?
Stevens.
Sanborn.
Yeah.
I made the mistake, and I said
you got to
Sanborn.
stop living in the past, bro. You got to stop living in the
I know. I
past.
didn't mean to. I literally said, I was like, now bet, and she plays third base. So I was like, I mean, that's
It's just gonna get worse as you get older. I call all kinds of people by the wrong names nowadays.
Yeah.
Because just there's too many connections in there.
Obviously, Sierra Kinlaw has been a beast, but how about what have you seen from Cassie Brundage? She's picked up a couple of wins and looked solid out there.
Oh, Cassie's a stud, and she's a two-way player. I can't wait to see her get a couple of opportunities at the plate. But like we said, our pitching staff's going to be kind of it's Abby, Cassie, and Sierra right now, and that's the three horses they're going to ride, which is fair. I mean, they're three very talented pitchers. Abby struggled a little bit in the first two games, but that's minuscule. That's a small sample size. She's a very good pitcher.
She just walked too many people.
Yeah.
Just gotta find the zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. James Taylor, there's a blast from the past. There'll never be another Melanie
Goolsby. Man, yeah.
She was great.
But yeah, it's a great they're just a fun group of kids to be around. And I'll tell you the highlight of the weekend for me, at least on the softball side, was Tristan Norris's pinch hit homer against Erskine. Because they pushed her surgery back. She's going to have season-ending shoulder surgery this week, this coming week, and so they pushed it back 1 week. And she got cleared from our athletic trainers and said, it's not going to do any damage. And she comes up there and she earns a walk and then hits a first pitch moonshot. So that I think that'll definitely make the top 5 plays of February, just on the emotion about it alone, because we were all like, this sucks, Tristan's out and she had a great year last year.
Yeah.
But, for her to do that, everybody said that there was tears in the dugout, just because they love their teammate, and it sucks that she's not going to be on the field, but she hit that. I mean, and that thing almost cleared the second fence. It was an absolute shot. So we'll be ready for this weekend. I look forward to seeing.
Way to battle back in the extra inning win. They were down heading into the 7th.
But yeah, I guess Tuscaloosa.
That's when we win those close ones and
that extra inning rule, man.
Yeah. Yes, Major League Baseball automatic runner.
Trying to put that in
the international tiebreaker.
Trying to put that into the stats, man.
The nightmare. You got to place the runner and all that.
It took me the entire 8th inning to do it. Thankfully, the SID, Jessica at Tusculum, was able to kind of walk me through it, because I'm reading it and I'm like, I'm doing this exact thing, and it's not working.
I knew how to do it once upon a time, because I was a master at it at one time, but I cleared that cache in my brain many years ago. Yeah. So I had to recover some files the other day to stat that baseball game. I was like, hold on, I remember this.
So what did you say? What was it you said about Presto? You take Stat Crew and
they somehow modernized Stat Crew and made it worse. I don't know how they did it, but they did.
Man, it was. But, it just takes a little bit to get back to used to. I'm still trying to get.
Well, there's just a couple things they could tweak to make it so much better. But if anybody in user experience at Stat Crew or at Presto wants to hire me as a consultant, I have some ideas.
Yeah, where says finalized game, like game over, even if it ends early, that's the big one. Wes, I know we're keeping you up, man. We're tired. I know it's a long night.
No, we got another show to do.
We got another show after this, brother. We're talking wrestling on the Lowco Grind at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
We got a great show. We got a 14U folk style national champion from Bluffton joining us tonight. So
Nice.
It'll be fun.
But yeah, we'll wrap things up now, man. It's been a great week. We survived. And I say we, this is a team effort. This is not just on everybody. Shout out to our entire student staff who suffered through 4 straight days worth of, I don't want to say suffered, but man through 4 straight days of.
Yes, it's a galvanizing experience.
It really
surviving
is.
The first weekend in Hardyville. I've been through that battle many times.
And
you come out of it stronger.
Yeah.
Well, JJ, it was just me, you, Maria, and David that first year. It was just us 3.
Oh yeah, those were the days. Those were
look
the
at all
days.
these amazing student workers who have done such a great job supporting and handling, covering all the bases for everything that needs to be done.
They're sharp, man. They got it on lock. I had fun hanging out with the soccer girls in the press box, working with them. They were entertaining, to say the least. And I've loved working with the crew, the broadcast crew with Dr. Sawyer. They're phenomenal. She was out the other night, and they didn't miss a beat. We had a little meeting before to make sure we all were on the same page and understood how to communicate, and they handle their business and put out a professional product. So I love it. That's my favorite part about the whole thing. Always was. I mean, that's why I'm still connected to you and Carlo and David and everybody, because working with the students was always the best part for me. Was being around young people and kind of having an opportunity to kind of mentor them and guide them, but also just like be connected to what young people are about these days. It's fun. Keeps you young. I love it.
Yeah, that crew of Jess, Aaliyah, and Ashton on Wednesday, man, they ran that show and did a great job in Dr. Sawyer's absence. And then those 3 and then some, everybody for baseball, softball.
The young lady, I'm blanking on her name, but the young lady who helped us out with the video monitor when we were trying to, the battery was low. We were disconnected. We were trying to get the replay video.
Right
there, that young lady
Ashton.
did not see any job, so I just want to give her some props.
Yeah,
Ashton's they were all phenomenal.
And
Ashton's aces. She's aces.
Yeah, she's going to do big things, and exactly. She loves her shout outs. So, but they're all rock stars, man. Not just one.
My boy Cam Rivers,
clutch, helping you out with some color, and
he's a Swiss Army knife, man. He'll jump in there on color. He'll do play-by-play. He'll be on the camera one night. He's mentoring other students. I love Cam. Good people.
Yeah, these kids are great. And all the soccer girls who are coming out there. And then lastly, I want to just give one more big shout out to my student SID, Abby Hunsinger, man. Dude, if you follow her on Instagram, you saw her post. She did Calvary Days Media Day Saturday morning. It took her back through Hardyville, and she said, "Oh, I'm just going to come shoot baseball for about 20 minutes." Got back in the car, went to basketball, got the rest of the women's game and about the first half of the men's game, and said, "I got the shot." Left, came back to Hardyville, shot the rest of baseball, softball before her hands froze, and still was grinding out that night. And
she's unreal. I need that contact.
She's
an animal.
And so big shout out to her. She doesn't have to do that. I said, just pick which one you want to go to, and she did it. So, these student assistants and these student workers are absolute monsters, and they're great, and they're killing it. And I'm so incredibly thankful for all of them. So
it's awesome. Good job.
But that's going to do it this week on the Sand Shark Rewind, man. We are full on into crossover season, and I can't wait can't wait for this to continue and to do it with you guys, man. It's been such a great year, and we're just going to make 2024 the best one yet. So,
yeah, man. We'll see you out in
All right.
the Ville on Tuesday.
That's right. All right, guys. So for Justin, Jarrett, Wes Kerr, I'm Brackin Lambert. We will see you next time on Sand Shark Rewind. Fins up.